This book is called The Baby Unicorn. It was written by Jean and Claudio Marzollo. It was illustrated by R.J. Blake. The illustrator R.J. Blake has now done more than 100 books. This book was one of his very first ones. He's changed his practice and now goes by Robert J. Blake. Robert is his first name. And you see here 6 of his other books, and there are many, many more. Also here, you see at the bottom, books that were done by Jean Marzollo. Her husband Claudio was a sculptor who helped her on The Baby Unicorn, but she's written many other books on her own, including the very popular I Spy books. Long ago, in the middle of a dark forest, a baby unicorn was born. Her parents named her Star because she had a mark on her forehead that looked just like a star in the sky. When Star was able to walk by herself, she traveled with her parents to the river's edge. There, she looked into the water and saw herself for the first time. "I don't have a horn," she said. "Unicorn horns are magic," said her mother, "and you are too young for magic. When you are ready to have a horn, you will grow one. Isn't that so, Father?" But Father wasn't paying attention. Instead, he was looking at fat, pointy tracks on the riverbank. "The dragons are causing trouble again," he said with an angry voice. "I must go to warn the other 5 unicorns. If I leave now, I'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, use the house spell and take care." Father Unicorn nestled goodbye to his family and disappeared into the woods. "You be careful, too," called Mother Unicorn. And then she sighed with sadness. "These 5 unicorns, plus Father, you and I, are the only unicorns left in the world. 7 grown-ups and 1 baby. We can't let anything happen to us." "I hate being the baby," said Star. "I know," said her mother. "That's why I have to use the house spell. Please follow me." Mother Unicorn led Star to a clearing in the woods. "What's the house spell?" asked Star curiously. Instead of replying, Mother Unicorn touched Star with her horn. Suddenly, Star was inside a little house with small windows and no door. "What happened?" asked Star. "I've made you safe," said her mother. "Now I am the house, and you are inside me." "But there's no door," cried Star. "I can't go out and play." "Exactly," said her mother. "Or rather," said the house, "and if you can't go out, no one can come in." On the table in the little house were piles of meadow grass and daisies. Star ate them up quickly. On the walls were pictures of the 7 grown-up unicorns. Star read their names aloud: Mother, Father, Uncle Moon, Aunt Lace, Uncle Snow, Aunt Zane, and Uncle White. "Where's my picture?" she asked. "Someday it will be there," said her mother. "Now then, settle down, and I'll tell you a story. It will be a while before Father returns." But Star was too excited to settle down. Instead, she called out the window for her friend Dixie Bluebird. Dixie flew in the window and said, "What's the matter?" "I can't go out," said Star. "Will you play inside with me?" "All right," said Dixie. And so the Bluebird and the Unicorn played tag around the table. But it wasn't a good game because there wasn't enough room. Star sat down, and Dixie sat on her shoulder. "Mother," said Star, "please tell us a story now. Tell the one about why there are so few unicorns." "Once upon a time," her mother began, "there were many dragons and many unicorns. For hundreds of years we lived together in peace. But then the dragons grew jealous of our magic horns. One day a dragon killed a unicorn and stole its horn. In the dragon's hands, the horn's magic turned evil and made the dragons hate the unicorns. The dragons tried to kill the unicorns, but the unicorns fought back. They fought terrible battles, and many dragons and unicorns died. That was a long time ago. Since then, the dragons and the unicorns have struggled to survive. Every now and then, the dragons attack us because they are still filled with evil magic. We don't fight back because now, with so few of us left, we can't. There is only one answer. "What is it?" asked Star, even though she knew. "Father discovered an answer in the unicorn book," said her mother. "He found an 8-horn friendship spell for changing enemies into friends. It may work. The only trouble is the spell calls for 8 adult unicorns." "8 unicorns with full-grown horns," said Star proudly. "When I get my horn, I'll be able to help with the spell." "But when are you going to get it?" asked Dixie. "I don't know," said Star. "I wish it would hurry up." Night fell in the forest, and Star fell asleep in a bed of hay in her little house. Dixie slept nearby to keep her company. In the morning, Star woke and found fresh grass and daisies on the table next to a blue bowl of water. "Thank you, Mother," she said. "You're welcome," said the house. "Is Father home yet?" asked Star. "Not yet, but he'll be home soon," said the house. "Good," said Star. "Then I can go outside." Morning passed. Star played hide and seek inside with Dixie for a while, but there weren't enough places in the little house to hide. Finally, Dixie grew bored and flew away. Star poked her head out of the window and said, "When's Father coming? I want to go out with Dixie." "Shh," said her mother. "Look what's coming out of the woods." Dixie looked toward the woods and saw a big green dragon slinking along the ground. "What should I do?" the little unicorn whispered. "Get under the table and stay still," said the house. The dragon crept up to the house and looked inside. Star heard and felt its hot, hungry breath. She saw a dragon paw reach in through the window, stretch around the room, and then withdraw. As Star heard the dragon lumber off to the woods, she felt her house cool and relax. "You can get up now," said the house. Star stood and went to the window. "Was that dragon after me?" she asked. "I think so," said the house. "You were very brave." Dixie flew back in through a window and flapped her wings happily. "Star," she said, "your horn has started to grow." Star looked in a mirror and found that, sure enough, there was a stubby 1-inch horn on her forehead. "Now when Father comes back, I can help him with the spell," she said proudly. "But he's not back," said the house, "and your horn is not fully grown." "Wait with me so you can see it grow," said Star to Dixie. She and Dixie sat for an hour and waited. "Well?" asked Star. It hasn't grown a bit," said Dixie, flying away. Star was upset. "What makes it grow?" she asked the 4 walls around her. "Bravery," said her mother. Star looked in the mirror and tried thinking brave thoughts, but that didn't help at all. Her horn was still only 1 inch long. Star flopped down on her bed and felt angry. She was mad at the dragons, mad at her horn, and mad at the house spell that kept her inside, where she couldn't do anything brave at all. Just then Dixie flew in through the window. "Your father and the other unicorns are trapped in a cave near the waterfall," she said. "Mother, did you hear that?" cried Star. The house didn't answer me. "Why don't you answer me?" yelled Star. She paced around her table restlessly. "I've got to help Father," she said. Star stuck her head through a window and pushed. "Stop!" cried the house. Star stopped pushing. "Why?" she asked. Because it's dangerous," answered her mother. "But how can I help Father if I don't get out?" asked Star. You're just a baby," said her mother. Not anymore," said Star. With that, she pushed again at the window. The house cried out, but Star kept pushing. Finally, she pushed so hard that the window broke and Star fell through. She was now outside. Star looked at the broken house and said, "I'm sorry." Then she rushed after Dixie in a fast, straight line through the woods. When they reached the stream that led to the waterfall, they stopped. Star felt as if her legs had turned to stone. "What's the matter?" asked Dixie. "I can't move," said Star. "I want to go on to find Father, but I also want to go back and see if my mother's all right." "Don't worry about me," said a familiar voice. "I am right behind you." "Oh, Mother, I'm so glad to see you," said Star. "I'm sorry I ran away." Her mother whinnied and said, "My dear, you did what you had to do, and I am proud of you. Do you feel any different now?" "Your horn's longer," said Dixie. "It is?" asked Star. "How much?" "It's this long now," said Dixie, holding her wings about 3 inches apart. "But it's not long enough," said her mother. "Still, it should grow more. Now come, we must find Father." Star, her mother, and Dixie followed the stream until they reached a narrow waterfall in a cool glade. "Where is the cave?" asked Mother Unicorn. "Behind the waterfall," said Dixie. 10 dragons are guarding the entrance." "What's happening? Where are these trees coming from?" Mother Unicorn, Dixie, and Star stared in disbelief as trees grew swiftly in a circle around them. The trees were so close together that Star and her mother, who could not fly like Dixie, were trapped. "It's evil magic," said Mother Unicorn. "Don't be afraid, Star. Just watch what I do and copy me." Mother Unicorn dug quietly in the ground with her long horn. Star did the same thing with her short horn. Soon Mother Unicorn hit something. "Roots," she said. "Good." She rubbed the roots with her horn, and as she did, a tree near her began to giggle and shake. Star found a root and rubbed it too. 2 trees doubled up with laughter. "Next time they do that, jump over them," said Mother Unicorn. Star rubbed some more, and 3 trees bent to the ground with giggles. Star and her mother jumped and soared over their quivering leaves. "That was fun," said Star, landing on the ground next to Dixie. "You don't always have to fight your way out of a trap," said Mother Unicorn. "Sometimes you can tickle your way out. You did a good job, Star. You were very brave." "And your horn's longer," said Dixie. "Yes, it's almost fully grown," said Mother Unicorn. "One more brave act should do it. Come, let's sneak up on the dragons." Dixie, Star, and her mother tiptoed around the waterfall and saw the opening to the cave. "Where are the 10 dragons?" asked Mother Unicorn. "Perhaps they're in the cave," said Star. Quietly, she and the others walked nearer to the cave. Though Star was ready to do something brave, she was also very afraid. Everything was much too quiet. Suddenly, a unicorn popped his head out of the cave entrance. "It's Father," said Star. She and her mother ran up to him. "In the cave, quickly," he said. Inside the cave were the 5 other unicorns. The cave now held the last 8 unicorns in the world. "How fine you look with your horn," Star's father said to her. But from the disappointment in his eyes, Star knew that her horn wasn't fully grown. She wouldn't be able to help her father with his spell after all. Star shut her eyes to squeeze back tears. Just then, she heard a hideous noise and felt a terrible heat. Opening her eyes, she saw 10 huge dragons creeping into the cave. "Silly stupid unicorns," said one of them. "You think you're so smart, but you're really stupid. You just ran into a cave with no way out. We've got you trapped in here. You can't tickle your way out, so don't even try." The dragons crept closer. It was awful how slowly they came, and how hot their fiery breath made the air in the cave. Star felt her skin tighten with heat. Even her new horn burned like a hot stick on her forehead. Suddenly, the thought of her horn made Star know what to do. "Stop where you are," she cried, jumping in the air and landing close to the dragons. The dragons, who were surprised that a little baby unicorn had jumped at them, stopped moving for a brief moment, and they held their breaths. In that moment, Star's horn grew all the way. "Turn," said her father. Star turned and let the 7 other unicorns touch her horn with theirs. At the moment when all 8 points touched, a spark flashed in the air, and the dragons sat back on their haunches. They looked at each other in surprise. "What are we doing in here?" one of them said. "Our unicorn friends don't like heat," said another. "Let's go outside and play where it's cooler." The 8-horn friendship spell for changing enemies into friends had worked. But it only worked because Star, the baby unicorn, had grown up just in time. From that day on, the dragons and the unicorns were friends. The dragons never grew jealous of the unicorns because they knew that having a unicorn for a friend was like having your own personal magician. Star became friends with a baby dragon named Moon. His name was Moon because he had a moon shape on his forehead. The only trouble with Moon was that his dragon wings hadn't grown yet. But that's a story for another time. The end. This book, the first in a series, has been The Baby Unicorn. It was written by the husband-wife team of Jean and Claudio Marzollo, and the illustrations were done by Robert J. Blake.